Today we're going to focus on getting our clock started, and then we're going to focus on our Dristee. So our gaze, their central point of focus around which you want to base your practice. So come into your child's pose, the back of your mat. Keep those knees a little bit wider than the edges of your mat, or wider than you would usually. And take your hands a bit wider as well. And as you rest your forehead on your mat and begin to deepen your breath, be sure to keep your eyes open. I know the mat's probably very blurry for you, half an inch to a few inches away, depending on what your nose is like. My little snub nose puts my eyes just about into my mat. Keep them open and allow them to be a bit unfocused as you deepen your breath. Allow the rest of your day to drop away. And the only thing that needs to exist is right here, you and your mat. And I guess, the rest of our yogi participants here, but mostly you and your mat and your Zoom. Spread your fingers wide and walk your hands 2 inches farther forward. And press your hips back toward your heels. Spiral your armpits down like they're gonna hover like UFOs off your mat. Curl your toes and press on up to a downward facing dog. Take any movements you need to fall in your pose here. And let your gaze rest softly between your feet. And hold your gaze there as you take your breaths. Maybe move your hips side to side. Even swing your head yes and no, while keeping your focus on the same general area of your mat. And after you've worked out all the little kinks in your body, come to a stillness. Hold your Dristee and breathe. Bring your gaze forward between your hands and walk to the top of your mat, coming into a ragdoll pose, grabbing your opposite elbows or triceps with the other hand, and find a spot on the back of your mat or on the wall behind you, and anchor your gaze there as you use your breath to guide what your body needs to do in this ragdoll. Using our Dristee as an anchor point can help to move breath through the body and really take stock of what's there and not what we think we're going to find or what we expect to find. Can help the rest of the world to drop away and discover what body you have today in your practice right now. Release your mind and heel toe your feet together. Inhale your left hand high. Letting your gaze follow your left thumb up to the ceiling and bending your right knee as much as you need to get a big stretch along the outside of your left leg and glute. Bring the pit of your belly in and up and slide your shoulder blades down your back to get an opening in your chest as well. And release your left hand down. Bring your gaze to your mat. Inhale your right hand up, walking your eyes up to your right thumb as you bend your left knee. And breathe into the outside of your right leg, getting a big old stretch in your IT band, your glutes. And bring your right hand down. With an inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Bring your gaze up between your hands and find a spot on the ceiling. Inhaling your heart up and exhale, grounding through the four corners of your feet. Feeling your shoulder blades slide down. Inhale up the front of your body and lift up through your fingertips. And exhale down the back of your body, ground down from your feet. One more of those big breaths up the front of your body. Exhale down your spine. And at the bottom of your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and your gaze in front of you. Take a big inhale here and then we'll Om. Inhaling for Om. Inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, forward fold. Let the crown of your head come down and look behind you. When we're in motion, like in a forward fold or in transitions between poses, you can still retain that nice soft focus of your Dristee as you move it down the wall or under a different wall. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your gaze far in front of your mat. Your gaze will help you stretch the back of your neck, stretch your spine long, and really get a flat back in this halfway lift posture. And on an exhale, fold down. Let's take another one of those halfway lifts. Inhale to halfway lift. And holding your gaze in front of your mat, exhale as you step back into a high plank. Inhale, rock forward, bring your chest through your shoulders, and exhale, lower halfway down, keeping your elbows hugged in. Inhale to upward facing dog, gaze comes forward and up the wall. And exhale, hips high, down dog. Bring your Dristee back between your feet. We'll take 5 breaths here to settle in and refocus. And continuing on what we do when we do move, you can almost bring that Dristee internally while you're doing transitions between poses or moving like we're going to do in these sun salutations, and still have that same focus of keeping something to anchor your practice around, even when your actual vision is moving. So inhale, look forward, and exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift, looking way in front of your mat, and exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, bring your gaze to the ceiling, and exhale, hug in. Let the crown of your head drop down. Inhale to halfway lift, and exhale, step or jump back, high plank to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to your gaze. Inhale to halfway lift, extending long, and exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, bring your gaze up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, and holding that Dristee, step back to high plank and exhale to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, hips high, down dog. 2 more sun A's. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or jump to your gaze. Inhale to halfway lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose, look up, and exhale, forward fold, head drops down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Last one, inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, look up, stretch your side bodies. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Now let's work these sun B's, get our hips open, get our synovial fluid working, get that blood pumping and our heart rates up. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale to step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hips low, arms, heart, and gaze high into chair pose. And exhale to sink low, hugging your low belly and outer hips in. Your gaze should be up high on the wall, maybe even where your ceiling meets the wall. Find a point there to hold and breathe. Send your breath all through your body. Find where you may be able to extend more in your inhale. And then your exhale, find somewhere you can release a bit. Your forehead does not help you stay in chair pose. Your Dristee will. And exhale, fold, let the crown of your head come down. Inhale to halfway lift, stretch your spine long. And exhale, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward to your right hand. Inhale up, bringing your gaze up high on the wall. And exhale, sink down to your front leg. Squeeze your heels together on the mat. Find a Dristee or ground where you had it for chair. If it feels low in warrior one, it was low in chair two. Inhale, raise your heart up, and exhale your hands to the mat. Flow high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, bring your gaze up, and exhale, squeeze your heels together and stay. Inhale, lift your heart up, the front of your pelvis up, and exhale your hands to the mat, high to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. And now let's flow those sun B's, 1 breath per movement, bringing consciousness to where you place your eyes. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift, stretching long. And exhale to fold. Inhale up into chair. Bring your eyes up for just this breath. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, bring your eyes up. And exhale, hands to the mat. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Look up with your heart up. And exhale, down dog. Left foot comes forward. Inhale, bring your eyes up as you come to warrior one. And exhale, hands to the mat. High to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. We'll flow 2 more sun Bs. Go ahead and do it on your own, matching your breath to movement. Deliberately placing your Dristee with the motion of the pose. So if the pose lifts up, bring your eyes up. If you're folding down, bring your eyes back. Let your gaze lead you through the sequence. So flow twice through, starting now, and then we'll all meet back in down dog or child's pose or whatever inversion you choose. Go ahead, team. When you're done with your 2 cycles, we'll all meet here in this lovely down dog. Then inhale your left heel high. Whoa, change up, left side first. Bend your knee and stack and open up your hip. Squeeze the front of your pelvis up and your left heel closer to your buns. Then either stay here or flip your dog. Press your heels down into the ground to lift your pelvis higher and squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back to open up your chest. Your gaze should be on the wall behind you or on the ceiling or between your feet if you're staying in 3-legged dog. And on an exhale, come to high plank. Walk your gaze about 6 inches farther forward than it was. And then open on up to side plank. Bring your gaze up to your right thumb. Squeeze the heel of your hand and the heel of your left foot together on the mat to get more lift in your hips. And then lift your right leg. Bring your right knee into your chest. And then bring your foot down with your gaze to step next to your left hand. So you're in a low lunge at this point. Your gaze out at the edge of your mat. Then inhale your right hand up to easy twist. Matching your left eye to your right thumbnail. And exhale, bring your right hand down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to hug in, hug your low abs in, hug your ribs in. Then pressing down through both of your feet. Inhale on up into crescent lunge. Bring your gaze up to where it was with those warrior ones, where it was in chair. This is your anchor. This will pull your fingertips up so that you can sink those hips down low. Bring your hands to heart center and twist open to the right. Press your hands together to help you lift your gaze up over your right shoulder, deepening the twist through your entire spine. Release and come to center. Bring your gaze back up, and then exhale, open up into warrior two, focusing right over the middle finger on your right hand. Press both feet down firmly into the mat so you can engage your abs and stretch your fingertips to the opposing walls. Your arms are so strong that your upper body grows light. Then bring your hands to heart center, rotating your gaze to the left side of your mat, and sink on down to your left foot for a side stretch here. So right foot has the toes pulling back toward your shins, and you're on your left toes sinking down into your left hip. Bring your pelvis, the front of your pelvis and your low ribs toward each other, tensing up your abs. And then tent your right fingertips on the ground and inhale your left hand up, bringing your gaze up with it. And breathe and stay. Bring your left fingertips down and walk your fingers and your gaze over to the rear of your mat, framing your left foot. Walk your left foot to the outside of your hands for a lizard lunge. Press both feet firmly into your mat and walk your gaze about 6 inches forward again to help your heart open up in this pose. These lunges we do can feel a lot about our legs, and they're just as much about extending the spine and opening the shoulders and heart, engaging the back of our body so that the front of our body can open up. And bring your back knee down. Walk your left foot a little bit forward and let it fall out onto that edge, the outer edge of your foot. Then bring the palm of your hand either to the inside meaty part of your thigh, or turn around and look, or regardless, turn around, look over your shoulder for the twist. And then you can either stay here or grab for that back foot to get a big quad stretch along the front of your right leg. Regardless, walk your right eye up over your left shoulder. Find something new to look at over there and breathe. And carefully release your foot if you have it. Bring your gaze down in front of the edge of your mat once more and come back up. And swing your left leg back, ending up in a high plank. Inhale, bring your chest and your gaze in front of your fingers, and exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale to upward facing dog, bringing your gaze up, and exhale to down dog. Gaze between your feet. You should be facing the opposite way on your mat from where you started, from whence you came, what have you. And now we are going to inhale our right heels high. Exhale, bend your knee and stack and open up your hips. Engage those low abs and bring your heel closer to your butt. And then either stay here or flip your dog. Bringing your gaze to where the wall and the floor meet behind you. If you're in flip dog, and using this anchor, send breath through your body and discover what's there for you. Can you press down more equally through both your feet? Can you press down through your fingertips more to take weight out of your wrist? Can you send your heart toward the wall in front of you? And come on back over into high plank. Walk your gaze well in front of you. Take a big inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, come over into side plank. Walking your gaze up to your left fingertips. Foot your left leg up, keeping those big muscles on your leg engaged and your toes active to help the loft. Then bring your knee into your chest and bring it and your gaze down near your right hand, coming into a low lunge. Inhale here to lengthen and exhale to twist open in an easy twist. Bring your gaze up to that left thumb once again. Breathe into your chest here. Let your heart open up to the ceiling along with your gaze as you walk your right eye even farther up. And release down. Frame your foot with your hands and then inhale on up to crescent lunge. So you don't have your faithful old Dristee on this wall, but you can find a spot that's the equivalent height of what we did on the other side. So bring your gaze up to where the ceiling and wall meet or another point of interest. And inhale, reach up, let your gaze pull your hands up. Then exhale, bring your hands to heart center and twist to the left. Walking your gaze up to a spot in the ceiling, pressing your hands together so much that even your right eye can see the ceiling here. And inhale, release up to crescent lunge, bring that gaze up again. And exhale, open up to warrior two. Stretching your fingertips long and strong to either wall. Bring your gaze to rest over the middle finger on your left arm. And from this stretching out with an inhale, exhale and pull those low abs in. Squeeze those heels together. Squeeze your glutes so that your entire body can be supported from your pelvis. Then exhale, bring your hands to heart center as you bring your gaze along to the left side of your mat again. And sink down onto your right foot, keeping your left extended long. Here, once again, you want to squeeze into center line with your abs. Squeeze your butt cheeks together to keep you here and find a spot to focus on as you raise your arms overhead and breathe. Release your hands down to the ground. Walk them and your gaze to frame your right foot. Then bring your gaze forward in front of your mat and wiggle your right foot to the outside of your hands for a lizard lunge. Come down to your elbows or bend your elbows a little bit, however much you can do in this pose. Get a good stretch deep in your quad on your left side, your hammy on your right. Bringing your chest through your shoulders, letting your gaze lead the way. And then bring your left knee to the ground. Wiggle your right foot forward, a little out to the side, letting your leg fall open so you're balanced on the outside of your right foot. And take your right hand and press into the meaty part of your thigh, turning to look over your right shoulder to find a spot on the wall to the side of you or behind you. Now, as you go through your breaths here, you also have the option to take the bind on this side. Good idea to try for it if you went for it on the other side. And as you're breathing deep into your hips here, taking stock of your body, challenge yourself to keep walking your gaze farther over your right shoulder. Often the first place we find our anchor point is not the final place where our anchor point can rest. Release your bind softly and bring your gaze back in front of your mat. So you bring your right hand down even with your left. Engage your abs as you bring your right foot back so you're in a high plank here. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale to halfway lift, looking up, lifting your heart up. And exhale, down dog. Woo! All right. Now we're on to some balancing work. What fun. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, spine comes long, gaze forward. Exhale, fold, gaze comes behind you. Let the crown of your head drop down. One more of those. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. This time on an inhale, roll all the way up to standing, letting your head come up last. And bring your hands overhead and your gaze overhead, extended mountain pose. Grounding down to the four corners of your left foot. Inhale your right knee up into your chest. And grab for the outside of your knee or the outside of your foot with your right hand. And then inhale, raise up, hug in. And exhale, start to open up to the side, bringing your gaze to focus on your left thumb. So here I'll do this facing forward. So start like so, and then, whoops, begin to open up and move your drishti. So your head and your leg are going in opposite ways. This can be a little bit scary for our brains. Our brains don't really like when our bodies go in different directions, but boy, is it good for us. And come to center. Raise your right hand back up, keeping that leg up. Gaze up. Now take your left hand and bring it to the outside of your right knee. And bring your right hand behind you. And now walk your gaze over to your right thumbnail. So we're playing a little game here. You know, switching sides. Started on standing leg raise, now we're dancing Shivas. We did our Shiva squats yesterday, so we're super strong to handle this. And inhale, come to center. Reach up, lift up. Kick your leg forward. Kick that heel forward. And exhale, hinge back to airplane. I promise your legs can do this. Bring your gaze about 1.5 feet farther forward than you had it originally. And reach your fingertips back toward that strong right heel, kicking out behind you. That'll give you that up dog in your chest that'll make this pose so much easier. and then come on up and release. Woo! Shake that out a little bit. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Inhale, reach up, look up, and exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang down. Split your feet apart and take your favorite forward fold, whether it's gorilla pose or Padahastasana with the peace sign fingers or what have you. Just let your head hang down, find a spot on the wall behind you, and breathe. Release your grip, heel toe your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your gaze far in front of you, and exhale to fold. One more of those, inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. And now inhale, rise all the way up to standing, your head comes up last. Reach up overhead, bring your gaze up between your hands. And then inhale your left knee high into your chest. Press down to the four corners of your right feet so you can lift that knee even higher. And bring your left hand to the outside of your left knee or foot. And then start to open up, walking your gaze over to your right thumbnail. Squeeze your left glute to help you open. And ground down through your right foot, engaging that quad to help you stay steady as you do so, as you open up. And release, come to center. Come to center, bring your gaze up to your right hand again. Bring your left up to meet your right. And then switch sides. So now you're grabbing for the outside of your left knee with your right hand, extending your left arm, and then bringing that gaze around to your left thumbnail for dancing Shiva on this side. Release, come to center. Raise up, look up, and exhale, hinge back to airplane pose, bringing your gaze farther in front of you than you originally thought. Kick that left foot behind you and reach those toes for your left heel. And inhale, stand all the way up. I realized I forgot to treat you guys to this on this side. So bring your knee up into your chest again and kick your heel all the way forward. And now release. Shake it on out. Give me 2 seconds. It just started raining. I'm going to close the windows down here because this baby floods like a peach. Be right back, team. Hi, Quest. I know I heard you. All right. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Get long through those sides. Exhale, sink your heels and your shoulder blades down. One more big inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Softly fold, bring your gaze behind you. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands on your mat. Shoulder width apart. Hug those elbows in as you get your knees as far to your armpits as you can. Walk your gaze farther in front of your mat with 2 feet in front of your mat. With your chest forward like this. Start to pick up one foot, then the other. It is so much easier with a strong drishti, a strong internal focus. and a balance over your fingers, taking the weight out of your wrists. And plant your feet, release, forward fold, look behind you. Walk your feet out as wide as the edges of your mat with your toes turned out. And come into a squat pose. Hands at heart center, elbows pressing out on the insides of your thighs. And raise your gaze and your heart up like you're an icon of some saint, not Mary, she's always holding a baby or some shit. But walk your eyes up. Just open up like the beatific expression here and breathe. Pressing down firmly through your feet. Come into a forward fold, raising your hips up and bringing your head down. Walk your feet together. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale, take a vinyasa or just flow into downward facing dog. Whatever is calling to you. And we'll meet in down dog. Next to our downed dogs who do not like the threat of rain. Now that we're all in down dog, however short or long they may be, raise your right leg high. Exhale, step it through by your right hand. Spin your left heel down and straighten your right leg as you press up into triangle pose. Bring your gaze up to your left thumbnail. Once you have your gaze anchored, you can start to focus on the rest of your pose. Can you bring your front ribs together? Can you pop your hips farther back toward the wall behind you? Yesterday, we were getting our foundation fixed before we did any of the rest of it. And today, just a little, shift, new approach. Find that point to focus on with your eyes, and then get the rest of your pose in order. It's a little bit of a different way than how I usually cue this practice. And exhale, fold over your right foot. Step your left in into the side as much as you need to inhale and halfway lift. Right hip back, left hip forward, and exhale, fold into pyramid. Look behind you and let your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Once more, bring your gaze far in front of you. And pressing down through both of your heels, open your right hand up to the ceiling for twisting triangle, walking your left eye up to meet that thumbnail. One more big inhale, look up, lift up, and exhale. Come on back to downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa if you want to. I'm starting to rent my space here, so probably not a lot more vinyasas for me, but it's worth it. I love this old guy. And now from down dog, inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left foot to stand by your left hand. Spin your right heel down and straighten your left leg as you press on up into triangle pose. Lock your gaze onto that right thumbnail and breathe as you figure out what's going on, texture of your feet. Where are you engaged in your legs? Is there something you can let go? Are you trying to open up with your shoulders instead of with your abs? All those little things. And exhale, fold over your left leg. Step your right foot in into the side slightly. So you have both heels down. When you inhale, halfway lift. Bring your gaze in front of you in this pyramid pose. And exhale, fold, letting the crown of your head drop down. Find a spot behind you on which to rest your drishti. As you breathe into this pose, breathe opening into the back of your legs. Breathe opening into your spine. It's always a crapshoot with me, depending on what activity I've been doing, whether this is a pose I like better for my hammies, my calves, my thoracic spine here. Inhale, halfway lift, spine comes long, heels plant down, and exhale, twist, open, twisting triangle on the left. Bring your gaze up to your left thumbnail. One more last big inhale, open up, and exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly, and then flip over for a bridge pose. I guess I could have had you leap through your hands too, but I wasn't really thinking too much beyond what do I do about this elderly pit bull. Anyways, place your heels firmly beneath your knees, just within like grabbing distance of your fingers, and inhale on up into bridge. Find that spot on the ceiling to look at as you bring your inner ankles back and your outer ankles down. So I like to inhale my inner ankles back and exhale my outer ankles down in this pose. Gives me more of a fine-tuned grasp of what muscles I can use on my legs. And release, bring your hips down. Keep that drishti on the ceiling as you set up for your second bridge. Inhale, come up. Then keep your drishti as you bring your hands up by your ears. Regardless of what success you've had with wheel in the past, get some power from that little point, then press down into your hands and feet and bring your drishti to the wall behind you. Even if you're just supporting on the crown of your head, get that perspective change. Start to push up into your wheel. You've got full wheel. Bring your gaze down between your hands. Bring your shoulder tips together on your back. And exhale, release. Walk your gaze back up to that spot on the ceiling as you come through. And set up for your second wheel. Inhale, come up. Gaze walks up and back and between your hands. And release. Walk it all the way up to the ceiling again and set your hips down. Take a big inhale, big exhale, and then come on up with your next inhale. Kind of like a carnival ride when you focus on your gaze this much. It's a lot more fun. And exhale, release, come on down. We've got 2 more of those. Let's make them count. Inhale, come on up. Woohoo! And exhale, come down. One last one. Make a commitment to yourself to go somewhere in this last wheel where you've never been. Maybe find a new spot to look at. Walk your feet in closer, go up on your tiptoes, what have you. Inhale, come on up. The opportunity's here for you. And exhale, come all the way down. Take a Supta Baddha Konasana with your feet together, knees wide. Once again, anchoring on your old friend, that spot on the ceiling. Being in a 100-plus-year-old basement, we have lots of spots on the ceiling here to look at. And kick your feet up for a happy baby, capturing your feet from the outside. Kick one leg straight, and then the other, trading back and forth while keeping your gaze on the one point. And experiencing this unique blend of movement and stillness in your happy baby. And then release your feet. Bring your hands to the back of your thighs and use your abs to start to rock and roll and rock. And then your third rock, come on up to boat pose. Lift your gaze up to where the wall meets the ceiling, much as we did in chair. And then bring your feet into touch. Squeeze the insides of your feet together and bring them closer to your abs. And rest your elbows on your knees. And bring your hands wide. So we're in a crow pose, but we're on our seats. So bring your gaze up to the ceiling and strain your chest forward. Not strain, so not a great word, but raise your heart up as you hug everything else in. It's crow on your back. And then capture the backs of your legs and roll 1, 2, 3. And without kicking your dog, come back up into your boat pose and squeeze those feet in. Bring them as close into your body as you can get them. And get your crow arms going again. Hug your elbows together. Hug your knees into the backs of your arms. And release and rock and roll. 1, 2, 3, and cross your legs and come into a downward facing dog. Drop to your knees, spread them wide on the ground. We're gonna take a frog pose here. So, shins and thighs and feet all at right angles. And then look far in front of you. And before you go down on your elbows today, drag the heels of your hands back toward your hips and bring the front of your pelvis up. And as you lower down to your elbows or however low you go, bring your gaze down last so that your spine is long, your neck is long, your chest is forward, and then softly tuck your chin and come into your final pose. And keep your eyes open in frog today. This is one of those poses where it's easy to sort of find whatever little, cheats, little easiness things that we can give ourselves, since this can be a very intense pose. I challenge you to keep your eyes open and keep that drishti on the floor an inch in front of your face. And come on a frog if you have the room by flopping forward. The ever graceful frog. And then I'll meet you back up in a seat. Your legs long in front of you. Move your gifts out of the way of your seat bones. Then take your right foot and place it on the outside of your left leg. Bring your pit of your belly in and up. Extend your spine long. Then bring the outside of your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Inhale to extend and exhale to twist. And look over your right shoulder. You can tent your fingers. Maybe your palm presses into the ground, mine somewhere in between. Lengthen with your inhale, and with your exhale, twist and bring your gaze farther over your right shoulder. Release, come to center. Shake your little legs out. Then bend your left leg and bring your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale to straighten up. And exhale to bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And twist to look over your left shoulder. Ground your sit bones down. This twist starts at the very crown of your head and ends with your square pelvis, which is still facing the front more or less. So that nice big stretch in your glute and your spine. And release, come back to center. Bonk your legs out a little bit more. Inhale, look up, raise your arms up, and exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your gaze up so your chest comes forward. And then exhale, folding in. Let your head and back round over so you're looking at your belly button or your knees. And then release, roll up. Come all the way onto your back. We'll just do a brief spinal twist to finish up. Real quick, bring your right knee over to the left. Just a breath here. Switch sides, extend your left leg, rest it on whatever dog is closest to you. Bring your left knee over and twist. Then come to center and relax into your final Shavasana. Let everything go. Let the dog and the ground hold you up. We'll all finish up here in a second together. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle out your wrists and ankles with your head from side to side. Reach overhead, point your toes. And keeping your eyes softly closed, roll it over to your right or your left side. Bringing your knees up into your chest. Press softly on up to a seat, keeping those little eyeballs closed still. And sit up tall. Raise the crown of your head up. Raise your heart up. like you're bringing your drishti up, your internal drishti is going up. And finally, to use the word one more time, inhale your thumbs up to your third eye center. Give it a little massage there. The light in me sees and bows to the light in each one of you. Namaste. Good guest star request. Woohoo!